Welcome back from that break. You're still watching the Ghana Premier League here on TV3 and on your TV. It's match day 23, as I said, and Heart of Folk are back home. This time they are taking on Berekum Chelsea. Remember that Heart of Folk will be coming up against their former manager. At the Barbara Sports Stadium, where Heart of Folk secured the 1-0 win over Asante Kotoko.
Himself, he's really announced his presence on the African continent in the last couple of months.
There we go. Game underway here at the Barbara Stadium. It's Kotoko who gets his goal, and Samba O'Neill launching a long one into Azabok's territory. First goal kick of the afternoon.
And they would want to continue that from today. I've been joined by Jose Okokwe, who would later be in commentary position. That win that Heart of Folk secured against Kotoko is a massive one, and it will be a huge confident booster going into today's game.
Most definitely, it's just what they needed heading into the remaining games of the season, especially looking at the fact that they also lost to Kotoko in the reverse fixture. They just needed that win, and it wasn't just about the win, Mutala. It was also about the performance they put up to play over 60 minutes in that game with 10 men, and play flawlessly, with so much spirit and that verve. It tells you that they really needed a 3 points, but it's also about how they react after the 3 points. Now you face a team that's so poor on the road. They are yet to win an away game this season. That's where the pressure mounts. You look at Hearts of Oak at home, and they just don't perform as they do away from home. That's the problem with them. You look at the home table, as far as home games is concerned, and they are, I think, last but one on that table. It tells you that as far as playing at home is concerned, there's always pressure on them, and they need to change that today. They need to change that narrative. A couple of weeks ago, they were here against Berekum United. They dropped points. Dreams FC were here. They dropped points against that team. So it's not like they're not playing well. They do play well. But whenever they are back at home, playing right before their fans, it's always a problem for them.
Of course, and it's going to be a difficult game for them, especially knowing that Berekum Chelsea have picked up 3 wins in their last 4 games.
Yeah, for Berekum Chelsea, the problem has to do with the fact that they are not performing away from home. In 11 games of the season on the road, they've only managed to draw 3 times. They've lost 8. That is a problem with them. And you look at the table as well for Berekum Berekum Chelsea. They are battling relegation. They are not safe. It looks as if, there's so much pressure on them themselves. This is a team that has won the league before. This is a team, that has represented Ghana on the African continent before. So there's so much at stake for them. And you can't imagine the Ghana Premier League without Berekum Chelsea. And you talk about the fact that the coach himself has been the coach of Accra Hearts of Oak some time back, and he understands this team. He understands what's at stake now. You're coming up against a team that's also chasing the league leaders. They are just 5 points adrift. How are you going to manage that, on this step today? And if they really want to escape that relegation fight, if they really want to push or drift away from danger, then there's a game they need to target, and there's a game they need to win.
Of course, but the joy for Hearts of Oak is that they are coming up against a manager who won them the last Ghana Premier League title, but a manager that has also not gotten joy against them. He's never won against Hearts since he moved from the club.
Yeah, for someone you can hardly tell what's happening, especially when it comes up against Accra Hearts.
He says that could change today. That should be today. Should be the turning
They should be motivated. Looking at the fact that Hearts of Oak do not have a good home record, that is the only thing they should be looking at. They are coming up against a side that plays so well away from home, but whenever they play at home, they find it difficult breaking teams. And for Berekum Chelsea, even if not winning, if they can't win, they still will be looking at walking away with a point. Berekum came here, they did it. Dreams FC came here, they did it. A couple of teams have come here, they've done it. So it's not something they can't do. It's something achievable. They just need to, double up whatever they are doing and push towards it.
Of course, and they would also want to beat up on what they did against the Heart of Lions last weekend. But both teams have arrived at the venue, and today Heart of Oak have made 2 changes to the lineup or to the starting 11 that played against the Asante Kotoko. Today, there's Amankwa Befi coming in for Emmanuel Amankwa, who was shown a straight red card, and Benjamin Asare is actually in post for them. Benjamin Asare is in post for them. It's going to be a big one. He is the Black Stars #1 at the moment. He is in post in place of Agbasi. There's Collinson also on the bench for them. But 2 changes for Heart of Oak: Frank Abura-Duku and, of course, Emmanuel Amankwa coming in.
Yeah, Amankwa Befi comes in for the suspended Emmanuel Amankwa, who picked up 2 yellow cards against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So obviously he wouldn't be eligible to play in this game. And then also up front, Hamza Issa was also withdrawn very early in that game, for Mauli Wayo at that point. So he's also been withdrawn, and he wouldn't be fit to play in this game. He's not even on the team sheet, but it's consistency, and that's one thing you can always talk about when you talk about Masoud Didi Dramani. He wants that consistency. Adamu at the left back position, Yao Befi, they'll push up. Definitely they'll provide some, support up front for Kakari, Wayu, and then also Abura-Duku.
Well, for Berekum Chelsea, they are also here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, and they've come back with a familiar face in Jonah Atukwe, who used to play for Legon City some time back. But they have the likes of Samuel Tenedu all in their ranks. Even though the likes of Sorotu have left the club, he is currently with Bologna in Italy. Samuel Bodo is still very confident that he has enough quality to trouble this Heart of Oak side. So this is how they make their way to the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Jonah Atukwe, he has played at this venue several times, and he knows Heart of Oak very well.
Yeah, evergreen, ever present for them. He's very experienced. As far as playing the top size is concerned, he's always there. You can count on him. This season, he's got them a couple of goals. They'll always want to count on him. He's the skipper of the side as well. And this is where experience comes in, especially down the stretch where, 3 points matter, where you go to downtown venues and you need these guys to, to put up spirited performances. You can count on guys like that.
Okay, so it's a big one, and we are hoping to see some form of entertainment. Heart of Oak coming up against Berekum Chelsea, and both coaches made their way to the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Didi Dramani, the head coach of Heart of Oak, wants to build on that consistency and a win that they had against Asante Kotoko in Match Day 22. And for Samuel Boadu, he believes that today would be the first time he will get a win against his former club.
And I think that it's an area we need to improve on, and basically just that, keeping consistency in our winning ways and doing the right things in terms of how we need to improve in various areas of our game and to grow as a team.
You are one person who likes to move on from the last game. What has been the talk and the conversation in training this week concerning what happened last week against Kotoko?
I think that last week's one was to present the right personality and character, and also the desire to win. And so we need to consolidate what we had implemented, and then we need to keep that consistency in terms of being more efficient and decisive in very key moments of the game.
You always talk about playing teams that are at the bottom of the table, and you always label them very dangerous. You're coming up against another one that even knows how to folk well. How do you plan to break them down?
I think that it's not about the position of the club. It's about what the club is able to do. You know, sometimes you don't control the outcomes. Many times you don't control outcomes, but sometimes you awaken it and then things are not fixing the way it is. So we should not be deceived by the position of the club, but we should be more tempted with the abilities of what the club is able to do and what the team does. They are a very formidable side, playing with more compact team shape, and then also very decisive in terms of how they can move and then dangerous in set pieces. And these are the areas that we have been very, very cautious about, and also consolidating on our strengths.
Coach, we wish you the very best.
Thanks.
Coach, it's match day 23. You're coming up against your former club, Hartlepool. Your last 4 games, you've had 3 wins. How important would it be to continue the consistency?
Yeah, thank you very much. We know it's a very difficult game because House of Folk they want to win the league, and we too, we are in the position that we want to come up from that position. So today's game will be marvelous, and I wish people will come and watch the game with a different strategy and different mentality.
You've not had joy against Hartlepool ever since you left. What needs to change today for you to get your first win against them?
Yeah, today is the turning point. Inshallah, today is the turning point. And I know my boys will do well, because what I've been taught, I think if they implement it, it will go well for us.
Currently, they are one of the best defensive sides in the Ghana Premier League. How do you plan to break that down today?
Yeah, though they are very good in the defensive, but we have planned very well to come and break down their defenders and then make it possible for us.
Now you are missing some players like Soroto, who has left the club. How big of a mess would that be?
Yeah, as you can see, Soroto is a key player in our team, but right now he's no more here, so we need to concentrate those that we have, and then I think we have Tinedu and then Hene, and those players are equally good like Soroto.
Coach, wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Samuel Boadu, head coach of Berekum Chelsea, formerly of Hartlepool. Now he is on the opposite side and will be looking at causing an upset here with Berekum Chelsea. So far, he's not been able to win games against Hartlepool ever since he left the club. And some statistics for you there from the first round, where Hartlepool played 8 matches here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Out of the 8, they managed to win 4. They drew 3 of those games, lost 1 and conceded 5 in the process, and scored 5 and conceded 3 in the process. They are the best defensive side in the Ghana Premier League at the moment. For Berekum Chelsea, also they played 7 matches away, and they've not been able to get any away win in the 7 that they've played so far. So not looking good for Berekum Chelsea. They come into this game on the back of a victory against Heart of Lions. But you have heard from both coaches. For Samuel Boadu, he believes that today should be the turning point for him to get his first win against his club, his former club.
Yeah, the priorities quite differ, you know, with the coaches, but then the objective is the same. It's common. Let's win this game. For Heart of Oak, they are still looking at Mediama Sporting Club. It's 5 point now. Mediama are going to Samatex, so they know that top fixture for Mediama Sporting Club. They know the best for Mediama in that game would at least be a draw. So once they win this game, they close in to 3 points. But you look at Berekum Chelsea, let's not forget that a couple of weeks ago they were in Kumasi against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. They managed to get a point. Yeah. So that could also be, you know, a motivating factor for them, knowing that they've gone to Kumasi, they've picked up a point. They are here in Accra. They can also upset Accra.
Of course, and Berekum Chelsea can be a thorn in the flesh of any club. But the teams are already in the tunnel and want to come out and do battle. It's Hartlepool who are hosting Berekum Chelsea. Josiah Okokwe will join Nana Dakwa JC in commentary position. So we go for a quick breather. We return with the first half. See you after the first 45 minutes.
In the heart of Ghana, a nation rich with natural resources and vibrant culture, lies the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation.
Welcome to the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. It's match day 23 of the Ghana Premier League between a Hearts of Oak side who come into this game in the confident mood, having beaten Asante Kotoko last weekend in the Super Clash of the Ghana Premier League. They are up against Berekum Chelsea, a team coached by their former gaffer, Samuel Boydu. My name is Nana Dakwa Jesse, together with Josiah Okokwe. We're commentators for this game here in Legon. Berekum Chelsea are battling relegation. They are just a place above the relegation zone, but for the Phobians, they are doing catch-up, 5 points behind Mediama in a bid to win the Ghana Premier League this season. They've emerged out of the tunnel in their rainbow colours over purple shores, and Berekum Chelsea have turned up here in Legon in dominant yellow and blue jerseys here. Hearts of Oak up against Chelsea, a side the Phobians have dominated in their past 5 fixtures anytime they played away from home in Berekum. Phobians been led once again this afternoon by the ever-present Benjamin Asari, who put up a man of the match performance in that game against Asante Kotoko last weekend at the Baba Yara Stadium. For Berekum Chelsea, they come into this game after a hard-fought win at home against Bando Hearts of Lions last weekend at the Berekum Golden City Park. They had to dig deep to beat Lions by 2-1 to give them some breather in their battle against relegation. Hearts of Oak made just 2 changes to the team that beat Asante Kotoko last weekend in Kumasi. Yaobe, if he comes into, he plays Emmanuel Amankwa, who was red carded. Adamu keeps his place at left back with Esibe and Ali Mohammed partnering in central defense. Hussein, Afrani and Karim in that 3-man midfield. Duku is replacing Hamza Issa with Wayo and Kakari, keeping up in that 3-man attack for coach Didi Dramani's side.
Yeah, that's a consistent team he wants to play with. He doesn't want to change anything. He doesn't want to fix it if it's not broken. Obviously, you would have needed a replacement for Emmanuel Amankwa. And then Duku also in for the injured Hamza Issa. It's quite a decent lineup.
Jonah Atukwe, a seasoned campaigner in the Ghanaian top flight, former Berekum Chelsea player, will be skipper for Chelsea this afternoon. He's been in and out of Chelsea. He's played for Legon Cities. He was close to joining Hearts of Oak a couple of seasons ago. Atukwe left for Latvia only to return and reunite with his former club. Jacob Aduntra is our centre man. He's assisted by Ali Temoa and Alex Osam, with Robert Muse as our 4th referee for this afternoon's fixture here in Legon. Berekum Chelsea have former Hearts of Oak goalkeeper Eric Ofori entry man in the post for them this afternoon. Former Asante Kotoko right back, Ejapon playing at right back, Abedu at left back, Oxborn and Seidu in central defense with Tinedu, Osei and Augustine Hin in a 3-man midfield with Frimpone J and Jonah Atukwe leading the attack for Samuel Boyd, who has decided to go with a 4-3-3 formation this afternoon.
Yeah, similar to Hearts of Oak, but it's all about the variations in game and how the players will adapt, to the changes and the pressure also coming from the Phobians. But definitely Tinedu would have a pivotal role to play in this particular one. They'll want to leave here with maximum points.
Didi Dramani did not mince words when he showed great respect to the Berekum Chelsea team, not giving regards to where they lie on the league log. He thinks they're a very compact side under Samuel Boydu, and if it's their day, they could be up to the task against any side.
Yeah, in the reverse fixture, it was one of the very few games Hearts of Oak have managed to score more than once in a game this season, where they beat them at the Golden City Park in Berekum in the first round. Mauli Wayo gets to the goal, Hamza Issa also on the score sheet on that day. So he knows that they are fighting, they're battling relegation, and that makes it even more dangerous for his side, also targeting maximum points in this game.
It's the Phobians against the Breebies, match day 23 of the Ghana Premier League. Jacob Aduntra gets ready to signal us into action here in Legon. Aduntra takes a look at his watch and has blown his whistle for commencement of the game. Here is Chelsea, who gets us going here in Legon. Esibe with a big boot away for Hearts of Oak. Pressure on Mohamed Saidu, hands the Phobians a throw. Quickly taken, Kakari with a switching chance for Azabok, and Maoli Wayo coming so close. He scored against Chelsea in the first round of the Premier League.
And that would have changed the dynamics of this game. It would have changed a lot. You know, that early goal would have given them so much composure, you know, going into the rest of the game. Just look at that on the left foot, lovely delivery. And again, a bit too far from the attacker.
Kakari goes down in an obvious free kick. Chelsea will protest, but referee thinks it's a foul by the Chelsea centre-back Mohamed Saidu. It was Abedu who was trailing Kakari. Saidu came in, and there's a foul.
Yeah, comes in, catches him on the foot there. Quite tricky, Martin Kakari. On the super clash, we saw him coming up against, you know, Patrick Isiedu at that right-hand side of attack. And similarly, Abedu should be careful when dealing with a player like Kakari.
Early free kick for Hatzawok. Chelsea have got some defending to do as Kakari lines up alongside Maoli Wayo. Wayo goes over it. It will be Kakari who swings one to the near post. Good save by Oforienchi. It's a Hazabo corner.
And they are probing now. They are asking so many questions of the Chelsea defense. At this time, Kakari would have whipped again. Earlier on, it was a cross, but this time, just aiming, you know, to beat Oforienchi from that distance. Quite a tight angle though, but it was a good hit.
It's interesting how there's this overcrowding at the far post of the Berekum Chelsea area. I've seen Ali, Wayo. So now the ball sprung up into the box, the header away. Chance for Azabok. Here's Ali. The handball. Referee spots it against Ali. Chelsea have a breather now.
Yeah, they just had to deal with that one. Very tricky at that point. Ali protesting. That should have been a handball and a penalty for Harzavok. But the routine, and Chelsea are trying to mark them. It's more like, you know, man marking than the zonal marking. That was the first ball. Does that come off the arm? No, it doesn't. And Ali, they're protesting. It's about the energy they are playing with. Harzavok already looks like they are pinning Chelsea to their own box now, asking questions of their defense.
Oforienchi's delivery headed down by Hussein. Here is Abdul Karim Adamu, the winner from the Super Clash last weekend for the Phobians. Not a good ball to find Maoli Wayo.
He was expecting a ball to feet, not a ball into space, and that was a bit difficult for Wayo to deal with. He loves running, and you know he'll be using those channels very well.
Says the best headed down for Azabok. Here is Adamu Wayo. Now here is Chloe J to Tenedu Oxborn Augustin Hene. Adamu with a long ball looking for Duku. Referee waves play on. Azabok wanted a foul after Mohamed Saidu's collision with Duku, but that's a fair challenge.
Yeah, you'd be thinking it was a fair challenge, but you know the outstretched leg of the defender perhaps catches Duku. You know, Duku's trailing leg makes contact with the leg of the defender. It was through on goal at that point, you're thinking, but yeah, quite innocuous as well.
Azabok, the boast of the best defensive unit in the Premier League, considered just 7 goals in 22 games, displaying their defensive solidity across the campaign. The worry for them has been the goals. 16 goals so far in 22 games.
Yeah, not averaging a goal per game. Quite worrying for a club that's aiming to win the title, and to think of the fact that relegation threatened 11 Wonders are the only team to have scored fewer than Hearts of Oak means there's a problem. But yeah, at the defensive end, it looks quite good for them. The best record defensively in the top flight, 17 clean sheets in 22 games. That's quite impressive.
Tinedu goes down from the challenge of Ali. Referee Aduntra was not watching. Tinedu stays down.
It was a series of collision that Tinedu involved, and that was Hussein as well. And Ali just clatters into him.
Ali with a long switch, but Kakari unable to control. Afrani to Befi, tries to pick out Kakari, ball had already crossed the line. Assistant referee spot on with that decision.
Yeah, spot on. A ball perfectly weighted onto the part of Befi. That Befi trying to control that.
Augustine Japan showed so much promise during his days at Kotoko, only to drop in form. At a point was part of the under-20. Now he gives the ball away to Hussein. Hussein with a crossing. Abdul Karim to Wayo. Good play from Tinedu. Esibe steps up for the Phobians. Here is Ali. Adamu. Wayo tries to create a space. He sees Kakari moving into a better place. That's Kakari. Abdul Karim with the drive and a straight to for re-entry.
Yeah, they're working well. They're using the half spaces so well. That was a long hit from Abdul Karim. The closest Hearts of Oak have come since that lovely pass from Kakari in the second minute. And just look at that. It was a bit crowded, but that's not bothering for re-entry at all.
Befi will step forward for Hearts of Oak. Here is Amanko Befi to Martin Kakari. Kakari sees Duku. There's a flick on by Seidu. Flag goes up for offside, but in the meantime, Chelsea have a player down as midfielder Gaston Henne.
I think he's complaining about pain in the foot of Gaston Henne, but that was the pass again. And they're making good use of the long balls, and that was lobbed right, behind the defense of Chelsea, but for that header, Kabura Duku would have gotten to the end of that one, and he's really been lacking playing off the shoulders of Seidu Mohamed at Tanabok's born this afternoon.
Seidu's head up for Chelsea. Abdul Karim in a tussle with Richard Osei. Here is Befi to Esibe. Ali has these days formed a very formidable partnership in central defense with Esibe. It's fair to say they're one of the best partners in central defense across the Premier League. Esibe some time ago touted as error prone, but these days he's improved in leaps and bounds. It's Befi's delivery, easy catch for re-entry.
So easy when you're moving, especially when they use the wide areas. Hearts of Oak, you have Befi doubling up with Kakari up front, creating overloads over there. We've seen Adamu also pushing up a bit, to help Maudi Wayo at the left-hand side, and it's a region where Chelsea are struggling to contain Hearts of Oak at this point.
Wayo fighting for it, but Augustine Japan defending well for Chelsea. Hearts of Oak gain possession. Here's Hussein. Afrani blocked well by Tinedu. Chance for Hadzabok. On 10 minutes, it's Hadzabok nil, Chelsea nil.
Big chance, Kakari not getting out of the end of it, but Ali with an eye for a good pass. You could see players trying to go down to intercept that one. For a centre back, that was a lovely pass to the defense of Chelsea.
Oxbone's ball aiming at Atukwe, but Haas will regain possession. Here is Kakari. Now Afrani. It's aiming at Wayo. Good stop by Japan. Here is a J. Very tricky customer, skillful on the ball, difficult to dispossess. Chloe J.
Yeah, a very strong lad as well. They're very skillful. And those 1v1 situations, his strength. He barely loses the ball whenever he comes. Situations, J, and you can see some of Wedu asking the players to push up. It looks like they've been really pinned to their own penalty area. Not really had any touch so far in the game in Heart of Oak's box. And that's been worrying, and that's why some of Wedu is asking them to push high up the pitch, at least try and win the ball.
Some results coming through from the Ghana Premier League after some 40 minutes in Doma is Hoho United, who are holding Aduana to a goalless drawn game, but Out of Lions have taken the lead against Gold Stars in Pando. It's Out of Lions 1, Gold Stars 0. And Karela have also taken the lead against 11 Wonders at Aliu Mahama Stadium in Tamale. It's Karela 1, 11 Wonders 0, and it's goalless between Holy Stars and All Blacks. Here at the University of Ghana Stadium, it's Hadzabok drawing goalless with Berekum Chelsea after 12 minutes.
And certainly we would see some shuffling as far as the table is concerned. Not a good collision there, Bayfeet. Let's look at that. An easy ball for Frimpong to win, but I think Bayfeet just tries to challenge him on the blind side of Frimpong. And that's obviously a foul. Yamankwa Bayfeet. There was no way he was going to win that ball. He knew it.
Berekum Chelsea midfielder limping off. He should be fine and come for the remaining minutes. Dominic Frimpong.
I don't be counted on him. No, very, very strong ladded. Loves the hold up play and the lick up play up front.
Adamu with a cross cleared by Oxbourne. I found it to Adamu. Ali goes high looking for Duku. Oxbourne heads the ball down. Wayo's effort cleared by Abedu. Abdul Karim with a disappointing ball over for a goal kick.
Right upward from the Hearts of Oak midfielder. He had options. Had Kakari to his right. Has gone with the simplest of options, but at that point, just can hardly tell if he was trying to, hit the back of the net with that, or trying to find a teammate. We've seen Hearts of Oak, play a couple of long balls already, and it's working, but Well, it's just up to the quality of it up front, and the connections in the box not really going well so far.
Cut off an hour done so far in Legon. No goals between Hearts and Chelsea. Here is a Japan to Hine. Oxbourne. Seidu. Adamu intercepts for the Phobians, only as far as Augustin Hene. One of those experienced players in the Chelsea fold. He's been in and out of Chelsea, left for Black Leopards in Zambia. Returned to Chelsea last season, Hene. Lovely control to skip past Abdul Karim. Referee spots an infringement.
There seemed to be a pull there. Abedu does well. Lovely first touch with the chest. Just trying to, he had space in front of him. You're thinking why he moved back again. Just to pull Abdul Karim. There was no way Abdul Karim was winning that ball. He had space. Lovely control. That could have been, you know, an attack. Or maybe ended in an attacking sequence for them.
Hussein. So Esibe, who finds his partner in central defense. Ali goes long, is a lovely pass to Pekawa Mankwa Befi down the right. Befi's cross blocked by Abedu. Hearts of a corner.
Yeah, they're working, and it's still the right hand side where you find Kakari, and then also Yamanko Befi. And there's no pressure from Klu on the left hand side, or even Jonah Tukwe. We've not really seen him, and that's allowing Yamanko Befi the Langtons to roam up front or to move further up the pitch, which he's doing, adding numbers to the Hearts of Oak attack.
Chelsea have a very terrible form away from home. Out of 11 away games, they've won none, 3 draws and 8 defeats away from home. Kakari delivers. Ali arrives but unable to make the needed contact. Has appeal for a corner. Referee points for a goal kick.
Yeah, and the routine is working. It seems to be causing problems for Berekum Chelsea at this point. You know, the crowd themselves at the far post. At this time, Ali was left alone over there. Just had to make that contact, send that ball back into the 6-yard box. He was alone, yeah, he does well. Had to lead for that one, but it's not within reach.
Samuel Tenedu to Chloe J. Here is Augustine Japan for Berekum Chelsea. Tenedu seems to have found himself once again in the Chelsea colours. He was a pale shadow of himself during his days at Asante Kotoko. A transfer that caused so much controversy. It happened eventually, but Tenedu failed to live up to expectations in Kumasi.
Yeah, he had to force his way out of Kotoko. He knew there was no way he was going to break into that team, looking at the fact that they kept on bringing in players, you know, who would actually compete with him in that same position, and he was never going to be the coach's favorite. He just had to move up. His quality is always there to see. Hold up play, no press resistant. He's a playmaker. We've seen shades of that already in this game, despite the fact that Berekum Chelsea have been limited to fewer possessions.
Befi again, the cross blocked this time by Richard Osei for another Hearts of Oak corner.
Yeah, and he's pushing for it, Yamanko Befi. He's enjoying it at this time. No defensive duties at this point.
It's Martin Kakari to take the Hearts of Oak corner as we approach 20 minutes. Ali is lurking at the far post. Afrani equally lurking. Corner is deep. Ali arrives, but the ball had already crossed the line. Before entry is complaining he was impeded in the process.
Yeah, I think he was. Ali, the second time we've seen him get at the end of the ball, but not being able to return it back into the 6-yard box, where you have a couple of, you know, Hearts of Oak players waiting to make contact. It looks like a well-rehearsed, you know, corner kick routine.
After 20 minutes, no goals between Hearts of Oak and Berekum Chelsea at the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon. Chelsea in possession now. Forienchi's clearance away, only as far as Afrani. Duku controls. He's got Wayo in front of him. Duku hangs on. Duku tries a cutback, intercepted by Richard Osei. Another Hartsville corner.
Poor ball from Forienchi, which was intercepted quickly. You know, when the transition so quick by Hartsville. And from Duku, trying to go with the simplest of options. A cut back into the box, but that wouldn't even go through.
Berekum Chelsea are enduring a very difficult spell in this season's Premier League. Kakari delivers into the Chelsea box, chance for Hartsville. Abdul Karim, another wayward finish from the midfielder.
Not what you expected from him. The last time he hit from outside the box was a decent one that had to be dealt with by Forienchi. This time, not too good. Hartsville causing all sorts of problems with the corner kicks. This time, the header back into the goalkeeper's area. A bit scrappy there. And talk about the fact that they've really pressed very well so far in this game. Hartsville did not allow Chelsea to play their way out.
Martin Kakari sprinting forward with confidence. Here is Hussein, sets up Adamu for a cross. Adamu swings one in, but so much on it for Adamu to get it right.
Yeah, he was hardly going to get it right. Yeah, you give credit to Japan for trying to intercept that ball. He moved so well. You know, now the angle for Adamu could have taken an extra touch into space, but decided to whip that one.
It's quite interesting how Didi Dramani is sticking to Adamu when the more established and cultured left back Ransford Mensah is on the bench this afternoon for the Phobians.
Yeah, two left backs but different profiles, and you know, you talk about Adamu, he's not really that offensive minded left back as compared to Ransford Mensah, who is also a dead ball specialist, but you know, he gives them stability at that left back position.
Oxbourne, Ejapon. Now Gaston Hene. He's giving the ball away cheaply now. Abdul Karim does what to go past Osei, but he also gives it away. But referee Aduntra right there whistles infringement, foul against Chelsea.
Yeah, he had to go back and award that one to Hartsville. You know, the trip on Abdul Karim. At that point, it was a bit slow from him, the reaction. You had players bumping forward. Could have just, you know, picked up a teammate with just a simple pass.
Berekum Chelsea are yet to get a win against Hartsville since Samuel Brodu crossed carpet to Berekum. In all 5 meetings with the Phobians since Brodu joined, Chelsea have not won a single, and the Phobians have emerged winners and dominant in all games they played with Chelsea under Samuel Boadu. In the pre-match interview with Boadu, he said this could be the turning point for his side.
He knows it, but after 24 minutes, there's no indication that they are in to win this one. They've been so defensive. You know, they are playing with the low block now, and they are making life very easy for Accra Hartsville. They've created good chances, Hartsville. You know, but the most important thing, putting the back ball at the back of the net, hasn't really occurred. But you know, it's been positive for them, especially when they move forward.
Abdul Karim for Hartsville. Now Ali to Adamu. Wayo does what to skip past a Japan. Here is Maoli Wayo. Goes for goal, takes the deflection of Hene. No troubles for Forienchi.
Not at all. The deflection taking away the power. But that would have been difficult to beat Forienchi, and I think it was just the wrong option at that point. While you had space in front of him, he had players up front as well.
Not so much has been seen of Jonah Tukwe in the opening 25 minutes. Yaman Kwamri Befi keeping the taps on him on the left hand side of the Chelsea attack.
Yeah, they've done pretty well. No blocking all those passing lanes. They've narrowed Chelsea to very short passes and no touches in their box.
Afrani with a good ball to pick out Adamu. He's got Wayo up front. Here is Adamu. Duku and Wayo creates the space for him. Here is Wayo! Straight to Oforienchi.
Good attacking sequence again. The left hand side, so much space to exploit. Adamu does well to tee up Mauli Wayo. And again, decision making. Yeah, he had the space, he had the luxury to shoot. And again, the placement just straight at the goalkeeper for Yenchi. When you talk about the home games they've played so far this season, and you know, in the games where they've dropped points, and I think there's a game where they've really taken the game to the opponent hard to vote. Usually it's been a bit lethargic whenever they play at home, but today you can see the energy. They should be at least a goal up by now, looking at the chances they've created so far.
Here is Yao Befi for Hartsabok. Ali. Adamu. Ali goes long looking for Duku. Oxborn heads it down. Adamu, was he tripped from behind by AJ Aduntra? Perfectly right.
He was there, very close to the action, saw it. It was Adamu. I didn't offer any protection at all to that ball.
Chance for Wayo again, and Oforienchi call to action once again by Mauli Wayo. Liveliest of the Azabok attackers this afternoon, Mauli Wayo.
Yeah, he's been coming, and they could have been punished with that. It was a dangerous place to lose the ball, and Wayo pouncing on it, going straight to hit that one. A bit of curve on it. I think she does well to parry it away.
It's Martin Kakari to take the Azavo corner, bends one in, Oforienchi's arriving and he plucks it beautifully.
Quite a different routine from what we've seen so far. Earlier on, we've seen Hazavok players crowding at the far post, you know, moving with so much pace whenever the ball is hit. But this time you could see them scattered across the box or in the box.
Referee Aduntra is calling for the Chelsea medical team to attend to goalkeeper Eric Oforienchi, who has suddenly gone down. Seemed to have suffered from a knock earlier on.
Yeah, you had Hazavok players trying to attack that earlier corner kick affected by Martin Kakari, and I think that's where the problem is now. I thought Samuel Buedu, he knows that there's still some time in it. He's going to fend off a series of attacks by this Hazavok attack. Seen a couple of shots being saved by Oforienchi. They've been asking questions of the Chelsea defense, and especially with Chelsea playing on the back foot throughout the game. It's been so easy for Hazavok at this point. They know that they have to score very, very early to take off some of the pressure, or the pressure off their shoulders. Because even in the last game, they scored quite early.
Samuel Buedu would take the opportunity to issue out some instructions to Tinedu, Frimpong, AJ, and Hine, who are manning that four-man midfield for Chelsea this afternoon. Asari has had little to do in the opening 30 minutes of this game so far. He's barely touched the ball. The Phobian #1 and Ghana's #1. Half an hour at the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon. Hearts 0, Chelsea 0. Here is Bayfi. Kakari loses the ball to Atukwe. Fouled by Atukwe. Free kick for Adzabok.
Yeah, the referee right there to spot that action. Kakari lost it momentarily. Did well to regain possession again before being tripped by Atukwe. And I'm not really seeing the best of Atukwe so far in this game. On the left-hand side, he's really been isolated.
Free kick for Hartsabok. It's Martin Kakari and Yaman Kwabefi right behind it. Befi sometimes used as a decoy for Kakari to deliver. Point is whether they'll go through the same routine on this one. Aduntra will hold on to this free kick to settle some scores right in the 18-yard box. Kakari goes down for Befi. Befi cuts back and is stopped by Abedu. Something that must have been rehearsed from the training grounds but didn't quite happen for them this time. Here is Kakari, takes the ball away from Atukwe. It is Kakari. Now Afrani whips in across. Ofori gets it away. Adamu shoots and is blocked by Seidu just on the goal line. And Atukwe will finally get it away. Hartsabok knocking on the doors, asking questions of the Chelsea defense. There was a foul against Osei Sebe. Aduntra spotted the infringement. Late call, but good decision.
Good decision. Very good decision there. But it's Chelsea. They keep playing themselves into trouble. That ball being dealt with by Entry. And just look at that on the volley. No drop volley by Adamu right on the edge of the box. He should be dealing with that one effectively, but he punches it to a dangerous area.
Hussein's drive not dealt with well by Ofori. It's a corner.
Yeah, and for Chelsea, it doesn't look good. Yeah, they're playing on the back foot, but decision making with regards to clearing of the ball, moving the ball away from danger has been the problem.
The excitement is building up in the Azawok.
I don't know if
supporters front because they seem to be smelling the goal coming. Phobians have lost count of the number of corner kicks they've gotten this first half. They've been dominant. Absolutely dominant. It is Bayfi's delivery. Referee whistle, spots an infringement in the Chelsea box.
And they will take a breather, Chelsea. It's not really being that flamboyant from them. You look at the fact that you're looking at breaking a jinx that has been hunting them for a long time, but that was the point where that was quite needless from Kakari. Needless, impeding Oforienchi at that point where the ball hadn't even gotten to the goalkeeper.
Doku Seidu came off the arm of Martin Kakari.
We spoke about the fact that it's still the 4-3-3 formation for both teams, but it's about what you do with the ball, how you move, transition. We've seen quite some good moves from Accra. They've won themselves quite a number of set pieces. They are yet to score, but it's been impressive.
Foul against Wayo. Last season, Hazleburg beat Chelsea both home and away. They beat them 1-0 at the Golden City Park. Mauli Wayo was a hero in that game, and they beat them 2-1 in the reverse fixture in Accra, with Ramzi Yusuf, Hamza Isa, and Kwabna Watson scoring for the Phobians. Chelsea have not covered themselves in glory in the last 4 seasons against the Phobians, losing almost every game. Esibe drives on with a shot, and Oforienchi equal to the task.
They had to, the ball taking a bit of, a dip there right in front of the goalkeeper, but as well goes down very, very early. And it is the spaces they're leaving behind for Accra Hazleburg at this point. That was a good move from the defender Sibe, who had so much space to drive the ball infield and hit that one.
While you have scored in back-to-back seasons against Chelsea this season and last season, and he's come close in this afternoon's games at war. Ali. He sees the movement of Bayfi. He's aiming at Bayfi, but not too sure about the communication between Bayfi and Kakari on that side.
He went for the wrong man. Bayfi was out on the other side, a bit free, no one marking him. He had space in front of him as well. Rather chose to go to Kakari, who had a marker right behind him. There was no way he was going to win that ball. It's a rant of Bayfi so far this afternoon that has caused a lot of problems for Chelsea.
Jonathan Quay. That's a powerful drive and a brilliant save by Benjamin Asare, and that's why he's Azabok's number one. It was a powerful drive from Dominic Frimpong, and Asare rose to the occasion.
He had to. It's the first time we've seen Chelsea in action at offensive end, and it was Frimpong. He's been isolated all game, just needed this chance. It was a good hit. Asare with a palm, just flicked that one away.
An instinctive reaction from the Azabok goalkeeper to deny Chelsea the opening goal, but that was a powerful hit from Dominic Frimpong. Corner Chelsea. Captain Atukwe to take for the Breebies of Berekum. Atukwe swings one to the near post. It's a mistake by Adamu. Chelsea with a chance. Ali tries desperately to get it away, and Adamu this time perfectly gets it away.
He had to pressure up, and for the first time in this game, Chelsea having a touch in the box of Accra Hearts of Oak. They've been on the back foot all game. Just needed that shot, that attack from Dominic Frimpong to bring them back to life, and already we've seen them with some quality deliveries as well. That one from the corner kick, not bad at all. Nearly causing Chelsea to grab the opener.
Tenedo is a good ball to Atukwe. He sees the movement of Frimpong, but he decides to check onto Chloe J. And Clue will weigh in a cross. It's a lovely cross, but Esebe heads it down for Afrani to control coolly and get it away for Hearts of Oak. Only as far as Oxbourne, who gets back to free entry.
And already we are seeing Chelsea at their best now. You know, it looks like they're not carrying now, trying to defend with a low block. They know they have the quality, especially after we saw that space being left behind by Yaman Kwabefi that allowed Dominic Frimpong to hit that shot, and all of a sudden they feel like, yeah, they smell weakness in this Hearts of Oak side whenever they move forward, and that's where they can exploit it and try and head them.
Approaching 40 minutes. Thierry Legon is Hearts of Oak and Chelsea. No goals to talk about. Here is Adamu. It's 5 more minutes before the break at the University of Ghana Stadium. Hearts of Oak nil, Chelsea nil. Here comes Adamu, swings in across. Duku is arriving, away by Oxbourne. Tinedu goes down, and it traps it back. Referee Aduntra whistles for a decision against Hazelvox Hussein. That was too heavy on Samuel Tinedu.
Yeah, a bit late as well from Hussein. It's a 50-50 ball. And both players had their eyes on the ball. And it was Tinedu that rose the highest. No above Hussein. Hussein also trying to show interest in that ball and unfortunately bring it down. Tinedu has been so lively for Berekum Chelsea. Oh.
These fans have come here in some confident mood following that victory over Kotoko last weekend in Kumasi. Suddenly they feel like they are back in the conversation for the Premier League title race.
Yeah, that's a win, a kind of win that gives you the impetus, knowing that you can go to the backyard of your bitterest rivals and get maximum points with 10 men, and it shows how courageous they were on the day. And you would want to ride on that win. You can't go to Kumasi and win, in one game week, and the next week you're dropping points against Berekum Chelsea, one of the worst performing sides in the league.
Ali to Abdul Karim. Lovely calm possession from Abdul Karim. Here is Adamu. Skips past Atukwe. Almost dragging him down, but he stays resolute. Here comes Afrani. Esibe will step forward for Hazelvox. Upon Afrani. He's carried himself so well in that unusual midfield position since the defensive setup became almost a no-go area for him to penetrate.
Yeah, he's quite versatile. He's a playmaker if he wants to be, not be so rugged in that area. He'll show so much composure as well whenever he's on the ball.
There's a foul against Abdul Karim, and Aduntra was right there.
Seemed to be a 50-50 ball. Karim against Atukwe. Wasn't so hard. It just catches the ankle, the shin, closer to the shin area of Jonah Atukwe's right foot. Just look at that. He should be fortunate, very, very fortunate, Abdul Karim. He's not going into the referee's books.
Lucky boy, Karim.
Very, very lucky. Showing stats. The stats also catching the shin of Jonah Atukwe. Very few referees could just, not even show a yellow card for that. Perhaps it happened in a flash.
Ali delivers. Duku. Seidu, here is Duku. Tinedu. Lovely on the board. Tinedu. Chloe J. Lovely dink to Abedu. Samuel Tinedu. He's enjoying himself in that midfield role.
Yes, but the support, from Augustine Hine and then also Richard Osei hasn't really been there. Whenever he has the ball, it's so difficult to dispossess him of it. So calm.
Here is Augustine Japan, shows great desire, moves forward with confidence. He's got Chloe J on his left. He picks up the young star who comes up against Bayfi, skips past Bayfi, sends it across. Atukwe is arriving, traps it back into the box, but nobody in yellow for Chelsea.
Not at all. Attacking with fewer men.
Some brilliant play from Afrani. He thought he was, in that momentum to search forward, only to be halted by that whistle by Aduntra for the Chelsea player to be attended to.
He had to. It was, a ball that would have been a quick transition by Accra Hazelvox, especially with Afrani, trying to scan the area to see the players on the move, but he had to be halted.
Agbesi Mensah, Asma, Collison, all of them watching on from the Azabok bench. And Agbasi in particular has been in the conversation of a Black Stars call-up in the last couple of days. Widespread media reports in the Ghanaian portal suggest that he's going to earn a call-up in that double-header friendly between Ghana, Austria and Germany in the month of March ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah, he's shown his quality. No, he's giving everyone reasons to even put him in that conversation.
Esibe steps forward, Esibe drives one, he takes a deflection and has a walk up a corner.
And again, Chelsea not closing the man down on time, allowing him that freedom to roll forward with that ball. It's the second time in this game we've seen him come from deep, and shoot the ball. This time it was Dominic Frimpong trying to close in, but a bit too late.
Martin Kakari to take the Azavo corner. We are into the final seconds of stoppage time to wrap up first half of action here, but Aduntra will hold on to the corner because Chelsea have a player down. It is the central defender Mohamed Saidu who seems to have taken a knock in that tussle in the build-up to the corner being taken.
Yeah, the routine again, and you have the Hasselhoff players moving to the far post again right before the corner has been taken. At this time, it was Said Mohamed who was tripped in an attempt to recover, when stay close to his marker.
It's 54 minutes in Doma. It's Aduana 0, Hoho United 0. Hearts of Lions are hanging on to that 1-0 win over Gold Stars in Pando. Kakari bends the corner, for entry, fisted away. Here is Chloe J. He's breaking away for Chelsea. Lovely skill to go past Kakari. Here is Chloe J. Stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, and he's been the liveliest of the attackers, for Berekum Chelsea this afternoon. He spoke about the fact that he loves the 1v1.
Kakari was on the move and had to be stopped right there by Hene, but Oforienchi has gone down again. This is the second time he's going down. Eric Oforienchi. He never enjoyed his time as Hazard goalkeeper. He only made 8 appearances in a period that was characterized by injuries upon injuries. Eventually he had to leave and he's back after 47 minutes yet to concede against the Phobians.
He's kept the lines clean for them. He's kept his sheets clean as well so far. He's made some decent saves as compared to Benjamin Asari, who's just had 1 save to make so far. He's been the busiest of the 2 goalkeepers.
Yalbefi to take, he goes low. Here is Kakari, Benson 1, away by Oxbourne. Aduntra whistles for the end of the first half here at the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon. Hearts of Oak 0, Berekum Chelsea 0 in a game that saw the Phobians dominating in the early exchanges. They dominated up until the last 8 minutes or so when Chelsea came in. After Dominic Frimpong's effort was parried away by Asari, they finally got the confidence to go at the Phobians, but it's been a first half dominated by Hearts of Oak. They've created the more chances and had goalkeeper Forienchi doing more of the saves than his opposing goalkeeper Benjamin Asari. No goals scored, 6 shots by the Phobians, 6 on target, 1 for Chelsea. Dominant in possession at 60%. And as many as 7 corners for the Phobians. It tells you the direction this game has been going. No yellow cards so far. It's half time at the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon.
it's our time here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Match day 23 between Hearts of Oak and Berekum Chelsea, and it's goalless at the break. I've been joined by the team manager and assistant coach of Berekum Chelsea, Emmanuel Nkrumah. Coach, you've been able to hold Hearts of Oak in the first 45 minutes. What do you need to do in the second 45 minutes to ensure you get the victory that you so seek?
Yeah, the boys have done well. We told them what to do on the pitch, and to be frank, they are doing it perfectly, except that the attackers can't hold the ball up front. That is the only thing they are not doing. So we are going to tell them what they should do in the second half so that we can have our goals.
Okay, we wish you the very best in the second 45 minutes. That is Emmanuel Nkrumah. He is the assistant coach and also the TM for this Berekum Chelsea team. They are currently holding Hearts of Oak to a goalless draw. Najau Isa has also joined me from Hearts of Oak. Coach, first 45 minutes, you've dominated possession, created enough chances, but you've not been able to score. What is really the problem?
Well, I think we need to move more up front to open the space, then we can finish up.
Do you think goalkeeper Oforenchi is the reason why this scoreline is still goalless?
Of course, he's part of the team, and I think he's doing his job as a goalkeeper because he's part of the number 11, and then all he will do to keep his team in the game, he has to do that, and it is the reason why he's also here. I think he's performing his duty.
Well, we wish you the very best for the second 45 minutes. Najau Isa is the goalkeeper's trainer and also an assistant coach for Hearts of Oak. It's goalless between Hearts and Berekum Chelsea here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. We'll take a quick breather. When we return, Elikondo will join me for the first half analysis. It's halftime here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, match day 23, Ghana Premier League between Hearts of Oak, Berekum, Chelsea, and a lot to look forward to in the second 45 minutes. My name is Mutala Yakubu, and this is TV3. Ali Kondo finally has joined us, and it's been a rather entertaining first 45 minutes, but what we've not had is goals. And it's been hard to focus against Oforientry.
Exactly.
Their former goalkeeper, by the way.
Certainly. And a former coach also at the bench who, in Samobodi, who knows how it is to play against Hearts of Oak. Somehow, it looks like the teams that are coming to this venue find a way of having a low block to prevent Hearts of Oak from having those penetrating balls into their D area. And somehow, it's depicting itself here again today. I think Chelsea have denied themselves of having a say in this game. You can't sit back throughout the game. I think if they open up and play with the players they have in up front, Atuku and Co, who have the flair and the skills to run at these defenders of Hearts of Oak, they could get something on Hearts of Oak, but they decide to sit back, making it easier for Hearts of Oak to attack against them. But the only problem here is that Hearts are unable to have enough men from midfield to connect to attack. So they allow Doku to be in front there, the connection not coming well enough. The midfielders want to drive through to get the ball to him in the D area. It's not working. So why don't you explore other opportunities? Baba is trying to cross the ball from the left flank, also not working. The crosses are not coming in. So they need to find a way of getting the right approach, either through the flanks or find a way of getting the right passes from midfield to Doku.
With the kind of attack they have, especially the number 9 they have in the ranks in Frank Abura Doku, what looks to work best for them is sending those balls into the box because of his huge frame.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why.
But all the balls have landed in the hands of, Orientry as well.
Exactly. So it also has to do with positioning of Doku in the box, and also the support, because you don't expect him alone to be in the mix of 5 defenders. If you watch Berekum Chelsea defending, the 2 holding pivots midfielders join the defense, making at times 6 defenders in the box. And you don't expect Doku alone to be up there against them for aerial balls. So you need the midfielders to join and give him that cushioning. And so that's something the Hearts midfielders are failing to do. They need to push more men into the box, and then the crosses should be also accurate, because all the balls that have come from the flanks into the crosses have not been well enough.
Well, now, it's been all Hearts of Oak, but Benjamin Asare has not had enough to do in this game. But the one time that he was called upon, he made a fantastic save. And it looks like it goes to prove why he's currently the number 1 for the Black Stars.
Certainly, his reflexes are on point. He's very focused when he's in post for Hearts of Oak. But I think he needs to be giving more shots to test himself, because we're preparing for the World Cup. I think that's why I'm having issues with Berekum Chelsea's approach to the game. You can't do a load block for 90 minutes. Allow your attackers to also run at your opponent, and so that's why they need to be releasing the balls quickly when they regain position in defense. Quickly get the passes right and get your attackers to run. And that was a good save from Benjamin Asare. The angle where the striker took to shoot that was to his left, and for him to stretch out his right to loop that ball over the goalpost was a good one there, and no qualms about it. That is why it's our number 1.
So Benjamin Asare with that fantastic save there. But again, Hearts of Oak usually rely on one player who drives forward a lot. Hussein, in the first half, he's not really been in the game because the likes of Tinedu have actually extinguished all the trade that he comes with.
I think Hussein needs to find a way of getting a good connection between himself and Doku, or even Kakari, who are in there. Try and play the 1-2 because of your pace and your diminutive nature. Release the balls and do the 1-2. Get into the right spaces that you can even shoot as goal, or lay the final passes to your attackers. But he wants to. You can't dribble. This Berekum Chelsea defense are resolute. They are holding on their line. They are not allowing spaces in between. So if you want to try,
it looks like whenever they are defending, we have 5 players at the back.
Exactly.
But when they are attacking, you see just 4 players at the back.
Exactly, and that is a good tactic that Samobudu has employed there. But my problem is that when you do that, you are static at the back, and you're not allowing room for your players to also join attack. So it makes it difficult for him to also score goals. So allow some of your players to join attack from midfield. But for the Hearts midfielders, Hussein, for instance, Karikari, these guys should be allowing themselves to play the short passes and create themselves enough room to run into the defense of Chelsea. That's the only way they can create spaces for themselves. If you want to try and dribble through, you will not go through it.
Martin Kakari, one of the players that has performed well for Hearts of Oak. In their last game against Kotoko, he was very, very instrumental. But this afternoon, things are not working for him. Now, what should change for Hearts of Oak going into the second 45 minutes? Is it a change in tactics or a change in personnel?
a change in tactics. I think they need the tactics. The guys are there to do the job. The tactics is push more men to join Doku in the box, let the crosses be accurate, and that's the only way you can even have ricochets and a rebound in the box for you to get the goals. The goal they scored against Kotoko in the reverse fixture was a set piece. So you know how to score from set pieces. Take advantage of that. They've had a lot of corners in this first half that they couldn't take advantage of.
Well, one of their greatest strengths in this year's Ghana Premier League has to be set pieces. And all the set pieces that they've delivered so far has been very dangerous. But for goalkeeper for Yuentri preventing a ball from entering that net.
Credit to the goalkeeper as well. But I think that the balls are going too close to the goalkeeper. All of the corners they took were too close to the goalkeeper. And they tried to go to the far post to get a rebound back into the box. It's not working. So why don't you send the ball deeper into the 6 yard and then allow the keeper to come out? Then you could get a 50-50 challenge in the areas duels there.
Of course, now remember that this is not the only game that is being played today in the Ghana Premier League. So other results are from the other centres. Has Adriana currently drawing with Hoho United and Baseke Holy Stars also drawing goalless with Swedro All Blacks. Heart of Lions are leading BBN Gold Stars by a goal to nil. Karela are also with a 2-0 lead against 11 Wonders. Nations also drawing goalless with Dreams FC, and that big one, Samara Boy, is still goalless between Samatex and Mediama. Asante Kotoko, by the way, are 2-0 up against Young Apostles. And here it's goalless between Heart of Folk and Berekum Chelsea. For Berekum Chelsea, maybe Samuel Bodu would employ the old adage that says, if it's not broken, you don't fix it.
Yeah, of course. I think a draw for him here will be okay for him. I don't think he's here to get the maximum 3 points. And so he's okay with how he's deployed his team. They can go on like this and continue to play and hope that they get a point at least. But I think that if they attack this Hearts defense, they could get something. Maybe a goal could come their way. So they should attack, try to push more men forward as well. And then the game should be more open.
Of course. So for Frank Aburaduku, he was one of the names that was not even in that game against Asante Kotoko. He came in for Hamza, but Mauli Wayo rather be playing as the central number 9?
Well, if they do that, it means that...
Because you look at Heart of Folk and your best bet to scoring goals up front has to do with Mauli Wayo.
So,
but he's playing off the
wide. Yes. So get him to play in the middle rather, and let Karikari and the guys go on the wings, because he can have that shot at target. So once you're able to get more shot on target, it creates room for you to have chance of scoring. So I think it's a good idea for Wayo to come deep into the D area and play that pivot role with Doku.
Well, let's see what happens in the second 45 minutes. Officials back, teams back, and ready to do battle. See you after 90 minutes.
Hello, welcome back for the second half of this Ghana Premier League Matchday 23 fixture between Hearts of Oak and Berekum Chelsea. The Phobians, coming up against their former coach Samuel Boadu, have failed to score in the opening 45 minutes, with Chelsea stepping up their game in the last 5 minutes of the first half, with Dominic Frimpong forcing a brilliant save from goalkeeper Benjamin Asare. But before that Chelsea chance, it was all Hearts of Oak dominating, dictating the pace of the game and creating better scoring chances, only for goalkeeper Eric Oforenchi to deny them. Back from recess, no personnel changes, and we're looking forward to a very exciting second half.
Definitely we saw Hearts of Oak creating tons of chances in the first half. They'll be hoping that at least they can put one behind the back of the net.
Abdul Karim gets us going for second half as Benjamin Asare sends a long one inside, headed down by Seidu. He gets it away again, this time further away, but it's Dominic Frimpong who is doing the chasing. Osei Sibe rises higher, wins the foul. Decision against the Chelsea striker.
Yeah, trying to win that one against Kevin Osei Sibe would always be difficult. He's known for winning the duels, especially the aerial ones, and at that point, that's well to go up and head that one out to winning the free kick.
Abeidu's header. Jonah Atukwe. Samuel Tenedu. Stopped by Esibe. Puts one through for Hussein. That's what to hang on. He's got down. Referee thinks it's a fair challenge from Augustin Hene. Jonah Atukwe, good control from Atukwe on the left wing for Chelsea, stopped by Abdul Karim illegitimately. Referee Aduntra whistles, and Chelsea have the decision their favour.
Yeah, Hearts of Oak, I think they should have won that earlier free kick when Hussein was brought down. But Jonah Atukwe nearly breaking away on the left-hand side. Abdul Karim right in his way there, obstructing him clearly. It's good to see Hussein Mohammed up again on his feet.
Abedu to Augustin Hene. Yabefi goes down from the challenge of Augustin Hene. Free kick to Hearts of Oak.
Yeah, that was a good move by Amanko Abefi. There was no one supporting him, no one in close proximity at that point. It was sandwiching in between Augustin Hene and then also Abedu. That was a good touch to move away from the two before they were being tackled down.
Barton Kakari to take the Hearts of Oak free kick. And Kakari swings one into the box of range. Makes no mistake with a firm grab. And it's Tinedo who is trying to send one away for Atukwe. And Hussein arrives and takes the ball away. He prefers the face-to-face approach.
Yeah, he wasn't going to take any chances there, Mohamed Hussein. He had a goalkeeper asking for it as well. Very confident goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari. Hussein knew that perhaps going there would have been a bit problematic. Let's hit that one out of play. As the spaces they are leaving behind Hearts of Oak, they are committing more men forward with the hopes of grabbing the lead in this game.
Hussein Afrani doesn't clear well. Tinedu on the volley, but he flies over the bar for a goal kick. Samuel Tinedu with an attempt at goal.
Good hit from the Chelsea midfielder. Just 2 touches. The next one would have not dropped there. Again, doesn't manage to get that one on target, but it's been so hard working in midfield for them. On the ball, off the ball, you can always count on him. Samuel Tinedu.
Abedu's clearance. Here's Ali. Now Adamu sends one looking for Duku, away by Seidu. There's an earlier foul on Chelsea's Richard Osei. Referee Aduntra spotting that infringement. Afrani the culprit.
Yeah, he rightly did. But Hearts of Oak are giving away too many fouls at this point, especially when those balls are lifted up there for them to contest for it. It's always a free kick in favor of Chelsea. These are balls you could make good use of.
Here comes Wayo to Kakari looking for sport. Adamu. Now Kakari, an opportunity to send in a cross. He swings one to the near post. Wayo goes down. Referee flags him for offside. Assistant referee was right there, spotting that infringement.
Decent delivery, yeah. A fraction offside there. Yep. Maoli Wayo right behind the last Berekum Chelsea defender that was Oxbourne. That was a good run into the box, but not really time.
Abedu, Seidu. Oxbourne comes under pressure and kicks the ball away to Adamu. He gives possession to Dominic Frimpong, who puts one through 14. That was forward behind Jonah Atukwe.
Yeah, and for Berekum Chelsea, they are playing with an isolated attacking, unit. You have Jonah Atukwe, Chloe J on the left-hand side, and then also Dominic Frimpong, and they seem to be isolated because you have a chunk of the players trying to defend, playing on the back foot. And at that point, it should have been an easy pass to find Clue to just kickstart the attack.
Osesibe showing desire to join the attack. Has a free kick. Hussein wins it. Richard Osei bringing Hussein down.
You'd always want to keep, an eye on him. Hussein has a knack of drawing players out of position, always, and that's why he's always left to play that free role, where he has the license to roam and pick out the other attackers with good balls.
Abdul Karim to take the Hearts free kick. Almost every player of Hearts in the Chelsea half. Referee has halted play for the moment because Jonathan Tukwe has gone down, and it was seemed to be a challenge from Yaman Kwamriku off the cameras.
Yeah, that happened right before the free kick was taken. Off the ball. My referee was there to see it. You're asking what actually happened between himself, and that was it. And you could see he was just trying to peel away from Yamanko Bayfi. Bayfi holding him, just grabbed him, shoved him down. And again, another chance, gone wasted there by Accra Hearts. We've spoken about the fact that they're giving too many free kicks away at this time, another needless one, especially when you have the ball and you could have done anything at all with it. That players also waiting in the box to attack it.
These guys are impatient, just waiting for that opening goal. They seem to have lost their voices once the goals are not coming there out of the fans.
It's always a problem when you come up against teams battling relegation, and for the records, it's not good for Hearts of Oak when a home game ends goalless in the first half. They tend to waste chances in the first, and then in the second half they are not able to find their way past the opposition's defense. We saw it against Berekum United, we saw it against Dreams FC as well.
Ali sends one in looking for Duku. Traps it down. Hene. Calm and composed in that midfield. He finds Abedu. Switches scene. Ali heads it down. Here's Afrani. Karim. Yes, he's over-elaborated and he's got to pay for it. Here's Chloe J. Sets up Dominic Frimpong, but it's straight to Asari.
And those two are combining now. It's been effective so far.
Augustin Hene to Augustin Japan. Chelsea growing in confidence as the clock tick on. Atukwe, ball across the line is a good decision from the assistant referee Alex Osam.
And you're beginning to look lively now, Berekum Chelsea. Once they are involved in the attacking unit, spoke about the fact that they've been isolated for larger parts of the game. You have Dominic combining so well with Klu, and then also Jonah Tukwe.
Samuel Tinedu. It's a lovely switch to pick out Chloe J. And Klu finding it difficult to go past Adamu. He does so. Brilliant play from Klu. And Aduntra might just be forced to reach his pocket. At the moment, he doesn't go there, but that's some good move from Chloe J.
Yeah, the 1v1 situation is quite easy for him. He had to wrestle his way past Adamu. For Kakari, the nutmeg, the cheek of it. Just look at that. So easily done. Kakari just had to make himself a bit lad there to just bring Klu down. And that's what you get when you involve them, the attackers. They're so quick, they're pacey. So what Jonah Tukwe and then also Klu.
Chelsea have a free kick. Augustine Japan has got that in his locker. He's got a couple of free kicks from angles like this during his days at Kotoko. This time he doesn't, an in-swinger and it's straight to Benjamin Asari.
Yeah, it's been positive for them. Berekum Chelsea.
Some 11 minutes into second half action, and it's Hazavok nil, Chelsea nil. Here is Duku. Chance for Hazavok, Mauli Wayo. Could have been one for Hazavok. Wayo stepping up into the box. Outstretched leg on the left foot. Just missing by inches, Wayo.
Big chance, big chance. And it's a shame he's not able to direct that one on target. That ball on target could have been the opener for Hazavok. A good job done by Duku. Had to raise down the line. Just tease up Wayo. Again, another miss for him, and he just can't believe it himself. That miss similar to that one he missed in the game against 11 Wonders. Seen him miss some sitters, and this is up there. Should have been doing better at that point, Mauli Wayo.
But Stephen Apiasare has come in to replace Frank Abura Duku. It's not really glittered in this afternoon's game. Duku.
Yeah, his last involvement perhaps could have been a goal if Wayo, had tucked that one in. But he struggled, coming up against Said Mohammed and then Oxbourne, the two centre backs, a bit ragged. They've been so physical, and they've kept him at bay in this game.
Saidu's ball. Atikwe is left alone to race for it against Ali, but Asare is up for it.
And it's a dwells their win in Accra Hazavok. It's so easy, especially when they choose to press very, very high up the pitch and force Berekum Chelsea to hit the long balls. It's so easy for Muhammad Ali and then also Esibe.
Kakari dinks one looking for Wayo, but it's cleared by Hene. Now Chloe J. Trying to get carried away by the antics. Chloe J. Mauli Wayo concedes a free kick, much to the displeasure of the Hazavok fans. The uproar and disagreement tells it all.
Yeah, you're thinking that should have been a foul to him, but shot tag in there. Yeah, referee saw it right there. Mauli Wayo.
Chloe Jake doesn't seem to agree with the referee. The ball had crossed the line.
You're not finding him with good passes now. He has space to operate now. His movement has also caused that Damu not to really join the attack each and every time Hazavok bump forward. Was something you were expecting them to do earlier in the game, especially even on the right hand side where you have Jonah Atukwe going toe to toe with Yamankwa Beifi.
Saidu, he's been the busiest of the Chelsea defenders, having to deal with Wayo and Duku until he was replaced. He scored full marks on all occasions. There's a foul against Wayo for Shetagen.
Yeah, and he's growing. His frustration is growing. It's becoming so apparent. You talk about the centre-back pairing, Saidu and Oxbourne, and it's not just about how poor they've been on the road, but usually when they keep clean sheets or even win points on the road, these two would always be pivotal. That's absolutely we've seen them, with combining.
Chelsea look a completely different team from the one we saw in the first half. They've stepped up in the second half, more confident, more calm, more determined not to allow Hazavok create chances and make inroads into their area.
And that's why you always have to bury the chances when you create them. You spoke about the fact that Hazavok 6 draws at home so far this season, and each and every time they fail to score in the first half, it becomes so dangerous for them because it looks like they are likely to drop point in games like this.
Afrani with a cross that is straight to a Oforienchi. The Bioni Gold Stars have equalized in stoppage time. It's Hearts of Lions 1, Gold Stars 1 in Pando. Gold Stars have not lost in the last 2 seasons to Hearts of Lions in Pando. And the status quo seems to be rewritten.
Yeah, they've lost their mojo. You know, you talk about Heart of Lions, where many pundits believe that they could also challenge for the league title, looking at how good they were last season. But I think that round of poor results had really condemned them to just trying to stay afloat and not have any conversation with relegation. It's been bad for them.
Kakari's effort terribly gone wrong. Goal kick. Samuel Bredu yet to win against Hearts of Oak since leaving this club. A team he guided to win the double and followed up with another FA Cup trophy the following season. He's struggling at Chelsea this season, Samuel Bredu, isn't he?
Yes, but obviously, the expectations at Hearts of Oak will be quite, huge as compared to that at Chelsea. But there's a Chelsea side that are also very expectant of any manager at all. Despite the legacy he left at Accra Hearts of Oak, I don't think he's really been able to chalk that level of success.
Substitution. You can always trust Didi Dramani to have something up his sleeves when the odds are stacked against him. With 10 men in Kumasi last weekend, he defied the odds with some tactical brilliance to edge Kotoko and get maximum points. This time, he's brought in Rafael Aponsa for Abdul Karim. It's almost a like-for-like substitution by the Hearts of Oak Gaffer.
Yeah, Abdul Karim with a knock now. And you have Rafael Amponsa also now moving into that deeper role, playing that double pivot role together with Afrani.
Hussein goes down from the challenge of Osei. Free kick for Hearts of Oak.
Yeah, clear push there on Hussein. The dummy there nearly made use of the space left. Let's see Osei with both arms just pushing him away. That was a good ball direct from Afrani, and that was a clear push on Hussein.
Amponsa's first involvement is to take the free kick for the Phobians. Decides to go low for Mauliwayo. Lousy pass from Kakari. Tinedu, that's a lovely dink to find Chloe J. Goes past Amponsa. Brilliant play from Chloe J. He was fouled initially. That's a good decision. Referee decided to play on because Chloe had the advantage. The moment he lost the ball, he revisits the incident and it's a spot-on decision.
Excellent refereeing. But it's Chloe again causing all sort of problems, and he knew once he wasn't going to advance that ball, a free kick would be awarded. Whenever he has the ball, it's so difficult to stop him in his tracks. Chloe.
Jonah Tukwe to take the free kick. 6 seasons ago, he was a big deal in the Premier League. He goes in with a drive that is not beating Benjamin Asari. It took a bounce before Asari made contact, but he was right alert on time.
He had his eyes on the ball. Yeah, the bounce there could have been a bit tricky for the Hearts of Oak number 1, but just spotted that rightly. Just putting his body behind the ball to save it. We talk about the performance of Chelsea, and it's really doubled up in the second half.
Dominic Frimpong. Adamu steps forward with some 65 minutes played. His Hearts of Oak pushing for the opening goal. Asari. Here's Mauliwayo. He goes down right in the box. Was there contact enough to warrant a penalty? Did Seydou pull Wayo down?
I think he did. Wayo had that ball in front of him, Seydou right behind him. And there was no way Wayo wouldn't have hit that ball if there wasn't contact. Perhaps the replay would give us a clearer view, but I think that should have been a penalty. And just look at that, been miscued by Kakari. Just look at that, that was a pull over there. Clearly, Seydou has no intentions of winning the ball. He definitely had no intentions. The pull from behind. It's just shocking that wasn't awarded.
Berekum Chelsea left off the hook. Jacob Aduntra has halted play momentarily.
It was a decent ball again, and Asari had to take his time, to tee up Kakari. He was just waiting right at the edge of the box, but again, you have the defender not going in for the ball, and you're wondering how that wasn't given as a penalty. Because he had his arms wrapped around Wayo nearly had wanted to hit that one, but I think perhaps the positioning of the ball and wasn't so clear, maybe.
A lot of thinking to do at this point for Didi Dramani and Samuel Boadu. For the Phobian fans, they would have been thinking that after closing that chapter in Kumasi on a victory note, they would have been up by 1 or 2 here at the University of Ghana Stadium against Chelsea. But Samuel Boadu's Chargers have held their own so brilliantly to keep the Phobians at bay after 68 minutes here in Legon.
Yeah, they've been disciplined in defense, they've been resolute. Even though they've allowed Hartlepool some space in the defense, I think Foyenchi, as was too tall, he's made some brilliant saves for them.
Trying to put one through for Asari, but Aduntra has been called to check on Adamu.
They seem to be in some excruciating pain. There was a muzzle pulled there. Yeah, he's pointing to his thighs. He needs some medical assistance at this point. Oh, and if you're thinking, if you're chasing Clue for most part of the game, definitely you would pull a muzzle. Because Clue Ajay has really been a thorn in the flesh of the Hearts of Oak defense, especially Baba Adamu at the left back position. Going 1v1 with that player, and it's almost always impossible to halt him. I think that's the implication of that. That's what you get. But for Adamu, he's been decent. His confidence is also growing, and that was another situation there. Again, after passing that ball, he just goes down. Adamu, I doubt he'll be able to continue.
Twenty more minutes to go. Hearts of Oak nil, Chelsea nil here in Legon. As Chelsea get into the Hearts of Oak area through the danger man Chloe J up against Arfani. He wants to shoot and is drifted wide for a goal kick.
There's the confidence that's oozing now for the attacker. Again, creating space for himself, and no one getting close to him now. So dangerous at this point. Just beating everyone with so much ease. Clue, I should be directing that one on target.
There's a foul all day, yellow card, but referee decides to let it go because Hearts of Oak have the momentum. Here comes a man called Befi to Kakari. Befi wants it back, obviously. Kakari hangs on. That's all to pick up Befi again. They play the 1-2 with Kakari at the end of it. Switches to Asari. Wants to create the space and shoot. Now Amponsan will take it over. Mauliwayo steps up for Befi on the right side. Here is Befi, goes low. Chance for Azabok. And nobody's connecting, as I say. Clears it away for a corner. What a chance.
Big chance now. Big chance again. Lovely way to work their way into the box again. Befi just puts a dangerous ball to a 6-yard box. Again, no one there. It was Mauliwayo nearly getting that all-important touch. He then looks everyone after that touch from the Berekum Chelsea defender. That's the closest they've come in the second half. That was a promising attack.
Hussein will make way for Kofi Asma. Hussein is more of a creative enforcer. Asma a bit physical, robust in his approach, but he's got eye for goals as well. Referee seems to have passed a yellow card to Augustine Japan for that initial foul. Kakari to take the Hazabo corner on 72 minutes. Shocking. The BNA Gold Stars have beaten Hearts of Lions in Kpando on the stroke of full time. I said it before the game ended that Hearts of Lions have not beaten Gold Stars in the last 3 seasons, and they've ensured that they are equally back in the conversation for the Premier League title. Here comes the corner by Hazabok. It's cleared away.
We've seen decent deliveries, from corner kick situations, and the last one wasn't just the best, especially when you have the momentum on your side and you're hoping to get a goal at this point.
Confirmation of Augustine Japan's yellow card. Referee held on to the decision because Asabo had the ball heading into Chelsea's area. The moment the ball failed to make the needed impact, he flashes the card to a Japan. Asari. Ali. Mensah, who came in to replace Adamu, has found Asma, cuts it back, nobody for the Phobians. Tinedu over elaborates and Hazabo pick it up. Afrani. Asma. Mensah is a teasing cross headed down by Abedu. Befi is trying to get to Kakari. He's giving the ball away and Chelsea have a chance to break away. 15 more minutes to go. Here's Azabok having some defending to do as Esibe brings down Atukwe, a free kick Chelsea.
And it's respite for Berekum Chelsea at this point. Azabok really knocked on the doors, but it's always Chelsea have stayed resolute in defense. I've seen them come up clutch, with their defending this afternoon. It's been decent from them. Again, whenever they want to break away, it's either Clue or Jonah Atukwe.
Atukwe goes past Amponsan. Chance for Chelsea. That was a wrong option to have taken. Decided to go for goal, the outside of his foot. Not the best of options by Jonah Atukwe.
Yeah, and he had to apologize. He had bodies in the box waiting, for a touch. The Dominic Frimpong was a bit more central. Atukwe.
It's ended in Tamale at the Aliu Mahama Stadium. Karela have maximum points against 11 Wonders in a 2-0 win. Abedu's throw headed down by Berekum. Benjamin Abedu to take the throw for Chelsea. Can't get to Atukwe, but Hazabok nearly gave the ball away in their own area. Now they've given it away. Here is Abedu. Atukwe. Ose gives it away to Amponsan. Berekum committed himself. He thought he had gotten the foul against Ose, only for him to be the culprit, not the victim.
Yeah, that was a sloppy play. Hazabok playing themselves into trouble again, giving Berekum Chelsea a chance to attack and perhaps get a goal at this point.
Samuel Tenedu and Abedu, two experienced players to combine and take this one, and Tenedu goes for goal and is straight to Asari.
Yeah, good hit. And again, the outcome was quite obvious. You knew Asari would definitely save that one. And as much as they've not won lots of set pieces, we've seen them not really cause any havoc with it.
Johnson Amuzu will come in for Dominic Frimpong. Frimpong got the best out of Asari with that belter in the first half that got Asari responding with that one-hand save.
Yeah, and it was actually what sparked them, brought them back to life in the game. They've been on the back foot. It's been boring from them until that good move and one good hit by Dominic Frimpong, to just wake them up.
Osei switches to Atukwe. He's got Abedu behind him. He locates Abedu. Abedu wins the throw off Kakari.
Yeah, it seems Chelsea are in control now. The last 5 minutes, it's been Berekum Chelsea, dictating the tempo at the pace of the game.
The game is panning out in a situation not likely to be appreciated by the Hazabok faithful. Their problem this season has been why they are not scoring at home, and here they are to defend against Chelsea's Chloe J. Ali, difficult to beat, tough customer, too experienced to be moved by the antics of Chloe J.
Talk about experience and the quality as well to stop Chloe J at that point.
Here is Wayo, good movement by Wayo, but that's clever defending from Seidu. Wayo is surprised he's not getting a foul, but sorry to say, there was nothing in it for Wayo.
Not at all, but it was a good move. He could have stayed on his feet again. Just look at that. But it was Seidu who gets a fraction of the ball. Yeah, clean tackle there. You at some point just believes he was out of gas, had to go down, but not winning the sympathy of the referee whatsoever. That was a good defending, top-notch defending by Seidu Mohammed.
Amponsan. There's Asma with a cross headed down by Oxbourne. Chloe J. Here is Afrane. Abedu to Tenedu. Now Chelsea will drive forward. It's Tenedu into the last 10 minutes. Abedu, Tenedu, Augustin Hene. Amponsan almost winning it for Hazabok, but Tenedu caught by the outstretched leg of Kofi Asma. Free kick for Chelsea.
Yeah, good call. Left it late on Samuel Tinedu. And he's really been unplayable this afternoon. Samuel Tinedu, so hard working, worked his socks off. They've struggled, the heart of midfielders, to deal with the trickery and intelligence of Tinedu in midfield.
Didi Dramani
Should be careful.
and the centre man Aduntra in some exchanges here. Yellow card flashed to Didi Dramani. Hasselhoff's assistant coach Abdullah Ghazali is already serving suspension, so he's been deputized by the goalkeeper's trainer. So Didi Dramani, the head coach, must be careful. He must set a good example on the bench and be calm and composed.
He needs to, but these are difficult and frustrating moments for the Hearts of Oak Gaffer.
It's obvious when the goals are not coming in times like this, tempers are likely to go up, but Didi must keep calm.
Yeah, you hardly see him in such, having such heated arguments, altercations with referees. Hardly. But I think today's case is quite different. But yeah, he needs to maintain some composure. Still protesting about that penalty kick that wasn't awarded, I believe. But he just needs to be careful now, like you said.
Free kick out to walk.
And thinking he should be playing the advantage. That was what Asma was asking for. It was a clear handball there, yeah. On the Japan. Asma was thinking, yeah, allow me to go through.
Hearts of Oak have a free kick. A Japan clue stepping up for the wall as Asma and Mensah plot and plan for this. Mensah goes over it. Asma swings the ball in the box, away by Abedu for Chelsea. Ampon sound to Bayfi. Bayfi sends one looking for Asma, but it's Osei who steps up, push down, free kick Chelsea. He wanted the foul, and indeed Richard Osei got what he wanted.
He was inviting it, he was calling for it. A bit too physical and aggressive from Kwesi Asma. As with that hand right at the back of Richard Osei. He's been quiet. Very quiet throughout the game, but he's really done a decent job for Chelsea in midfield together with Tinedu and Augustin Hine.
Asari sprinting forward. Here is Asma, fouled by Osei. Hazabok in a hurry to take the free kick, but Aduntra will stop them in their groove.
Yeah, time is running out for the Phobians. They didn't know it. Those will be two huge points dropped at this point.
William Bediakon and Marvin Owusu will come in for Chelsea. Samuel Buedu throwing his last cards into the game with some 5 minutes to go. So Chloe J and Richard Osei, Chelsea's number 27 and 14 respectively, will make way for number 9 Marvin Owusu and William Bediakon respectively. And Osei has been decent in that midfield, especially in the second half, where he's won almost all the 50-50 balls for Chelsea.
He has each point here. They know how crucial that will be towards their Premier League survival chances. Talk about Klub as well, combining so well with, Jonah Tukwe and then also Dominic Frimpong up front. He's really been a total in the flesh of the Hearts of Oak defense, especially on the left hand side where Baba Damu operates. 1v1 situation, so deadly.
Ampon to take the Azabok free kick with some 4 minutes to go. Is Chelsea holding and hanging on here and frustrating the Phobians in their territory. before the exit, he was yellow carded for time wasting. Richard or said deliberate time wasting before the substitution. Chance for Azabok. Afani's effort is blocked. Esibe's effort is cleared.
Okay, the appeals for handball. Appeals for handball there. The referee having none of it. Okay, a dangerous ball whipped into the box.
Going to the final 4 minutes of this game here in Legon. And Ofori Enchi grabs it for Chelsea.
Well, they've been excellent in defense. Berekum Chelsea. We've seen Hearts of Oak threaten. We've seen Hearts of Oak, play a couple of good balls into the box. It's either you have the defenders trying to, defend it, or the goalkeeper just putting something behind it. At this point, that's just the genesis of the frustration we've seen on the faces of the Hearts of Oak players.
Augustin Hene, one of Chelsea's midfielders, have also gone down. These are the very foundation of Hearts of Oak's national chapters. The Oak Seed. These guys are being nurtured to become responsible Hearts of Oak supporters in the future. More or less like the Catch Them Young Hearts of Oak supporters, like it's been done for the referees in Ghana. And they've lighted up the Hearts of Oak support base anytime they've come to the stadium, these little kids.
They have, and they've won hearts all of a sudden. Yeah, literally, they've won quite a number of hearts, and I think it's a practice being done across the various match centers as well. And last week there was a section of the Kotoko supporters or fan base where you saw young kids as well, being captured.
Asari comes out with those trademark clearances, and Marvin Owusu decides to go for goal from that distance, but Asari is right there.
Yeah, I was thinking Muhammad Ali would have dealt with that for a second, but he doesn't panic. Never panics.
Afran is balling, looking for Asma. Oxbourne makes a mistake. Ejapon clears it. Throwing Hearts of Oak. Going to the final seconds of 90. It's finished goalless in Samra Boy. Mediama have held Samatex to a goalless drawn game, but it's Ali's balling cleared by Ejapon. Kotoko have beaten Young Apostles by 2-0 in Winchi. On goal by Bote and Johnson Owusu scoring the second. So Kotoko back to winning ways after losing to Hearts of Oak last week, but Hearts of Oak are struggling to beat Chelsea here. Augustin Hene beats Wayo to it and goes to Forienchi. They have a difficult trip to BBN next weekend against Gold Stars, who have won against Hearts of Lions. Hearts of Oak, they must be worried if they are unable to take maximum points against one of the worst performing teams in the Premier League. Confirmation of additional time, 4 minutes time added on. Has a free kick.
Pushing Moment forward at this point. Rafael Amponsa, the holding midfielder, now joining the attack. Yeah, that's well. Fends off the challenge of William. Holds on to win that foul. That's what you have to do at this point. And they've been criticised for not taking risks in games like this out of Oak.
Berekum Chelsea will be the more content of the two sides. If the game ends this way, they pick up a draw, a red draw for them away from home. They've only managed 3 draws from 9 visits away from Berekum. 8 defeats. This could be the 4th draw for them this season, Chelsea, away from home. And it will be against Hearts of Oak. Kakari steps forward. He bends one and it goes way over the bar for a goal kick. Disappointing from Kakari.
It is. You had players in the box waiting for a delivery. No, it was a similar position, just a bit forward. But hitting that one, trying to find a target would always be difficult for Kakari. A bit disappointing for the Hearts of Oak attacker. You can see the look on Ali's face there, expecting a decent delivery at least.
Chelsea will return to the Golden City Park to face Young Apostles on match day 24 as Hearts of Oak chase the opening goal. Here is Amponsa, he sends in a cross. Asare is lurking, heads it down for Asma, heads it back in the box, but Chelsea defends so resolutely. That's a clearance away by Berekum Chelsea's Amuzu. Now here comes Amponsa. Afrani has been very decent and exciting to watch this afternoon. Here is Esibe. A Japan's clearance. Afrani heads it back for Mensah. We're into the final 2 minutes of stoppage time. This should be a foul. It should be a yellow card. A Japan will be lucky if he doesn't get a yellow card for this challenge.
He's already in the yellow.
Then Aduncha would decide to be charitable.
I think so. I think so. But that turn again from Henry, just look at that. So swift. Japan doesn't see that one coming. Just moves to the wrong side of Japan. Makes it difficult for him to stop him. Just had to trip him to hold the attack.
Hearts of Oak have a free kick in stoppage time. Final seconds of stoppage time. Hearts have a free kick. Kakari's banned. Seidu brings it down, and Augustin Hine will get it away for the Phobians. Here is Benjamin Asari. Ali puts 1-2 for Kakari, but Abedu with a body check to deny Hearts of Oaks. Martin Kakari. That should be it for this game. And guess what? If it ends this way, this will be the 10th draw for Hearts of Oak this season. Yellow card to Oforienchi. He deserves it.
He deserves it for time wasting. Oforienchi, he knows that was coming, but he just had to take it.
And this is going to be their sit-home draw. Guess what? Hearts of Oak have only won 4 games at home, losing once against Kotoko, and this draw will be the set of the season at their own backyard. Upon Frane, blocked by Atukwe. Jacob Aduntra whistles for the end of the game here at the University of Ghana Stadium in Legon. A result that would seem like a defeat to the Phobians, but for Chelsea, it's joy for them considering their poor run of form in the Premier League, especially on the road. Having come all the way from Berekum to scoop a valuable point here is a big deal for Samuel Boedu's side. For Benjamin Asari and his charges, they must be thinking about the points in BBNE after failing to win in front of their home fans, having defied the odds to beat Kotoko last weekend in Kumasi. A man of the match performance from Mohamed Ali would not be enough for the Phobian defender this evening, because the big deal was the maximum points to keep them in the conversation for the Premier League title. What a day for the Phobians. They've disappointed their faithfuls.
Yeah, they have. It was an opportunity to close in on league leaders Mediama Sporting Club after they also dropped points away at Samatex, and they fluffed the chances out of it. They created decent chances, some falling to Mauli while we saw it. Yeah, the penalty appeals not going their way, but it was a game where they should be winning. For Berekum Chelsea, going to Kotoko, grabbing a point, coming to Accra, grabbing a point at the expense of Hearts of Oak tells you that they really want to escape relegation. No matter what happens, they still want to. And that young man over there, Atukwe, he's been unplayable. He was unplayable, but the joy on the face of the coach, Samuel Boadu, tells you how valuable and crucial this point is.
He said it was going to be a turning point for him because he wasn't going to lose. He didn't win, but he'll be excited that he picked up a valuable point. Hearts nil, Berekum Chelsea nil. An evening where Hearts of Oak failed to score. Chelsea equally failed to score. 7 shots in total for the Phobians, but 6 on target against the 4 by Chelsea, increasing the possession percentage to 62 in the second half with 9 corners in their favor. Hearts of Oak had to endure 20 fouls from Chelsea, 3 yellow cards, and full time at the University of Ghana Stadium after match day 23. It is Hearts of Oak nil, Berekum Chelsea nil.
So it's all over here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Hearts of Oak have drawn goalless with Berekum Chelsea in match day 23 of the Ghana Premier League. My name is Mutala Yakubu. I've been joined by the head coach of Berekum Chelsea, Samuel Boadu. Coach, first of all, how happy are you with the point that you've gained against your former club?
Yeah, I'm not happy at all because that's not the motive, the reason why we came here. We came here to win, but quite unfortunately we drew with them, so I'm not happy due to the position that we are now.
Of course. Now, in the first half, we saw that you defended gallantly, especially when Hearts of Oak are with the ball. We see 5 at the back. Is it a tactical, a system that you practice throughout the week?
Yeah, we did it throughout the week because sometimes in the game it depends the tempo of the game. We need to manage the game very well because as we are coming, we know that Hearts of Oak is a big club. They have a very good technical team and the individual players are really good. So I told them to compact at the back so that they cannot penetrate.
Do you feel if you had done a bit more in the second half, you could have snatched all 3 points?
Exactly.
Because you found yourself in some very good situations.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes you know the players, sometimes their mindset is different. Whatever you told them, sometimes they get tired and agitating and all that stuff. So I think that if you keep working on it, I think it will be nice for us.
Now it's 3 games without a defeat. How important is it to build on the consistency in match day 24?
This is how we're supposed to do because 3 games without losing is good, but that's how we should go because during the first round we didn't do well and the second round we have to beef up with 1 or 2 players. But the problem that we are having is when you bring the player up, the player travel outside, and it's also there's no consistency in my team. But I think we are working towards it.
Coach, thanks very much, and we wish you the very best in your future games. Samuel Boadu, formerly of Hearts of Oak. Remember that the last trophy or the title that Hearts of Oak won, courtesy Samuel Boadu, he won it for them. But this time he's no longer with the club. Masoud Didi Dramani, the head coach of Hearts of Oak, has also joined me. Coach, your team have them puffed today, but it wasn't meant to be. What was lacking in your game today?
I think that we still need to improve on our decision making in those key, very, very key moments of the game. I think that we had every opportunity to have at least scored a goal, if not more. but to score a goal and then we don't control the outcomes. We can control how we have to do, how we have to set up, but the decisions we don't.
I mean,
players have to make
a lot of people are calling you the Arsenal of Ghana Premier League. You score from a lot of set pieces, like we saw last week against Asante Kotoko. Today you had numerous set pieces, but you couldn't make it count.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you score from set pieces. Sometimes you try. If the delivery does not come in the right way, that was a challenge. It is all about the decisions we make in very key moments of the game. I think that we need to really improve, but we still think that is the level, so we keep working.
Now, I remember prior to this game, you said that this could be a tricky one because it doesn't matter the position that Berekum Chelsea are lying. Do you think on the day their system and tactics made life very difficult for you?
Oh no, I think that we still, even though they stood low, but we still had a lot of spaces to get through them right from the beginning of the game till the end of the game. They moved out on the transitions during turnovers, but I still think that we still control the whole game, and then we just needed to just make the right decisions where a player can just control and pass the ball in the goal.
Now, the teams that you are competing with in and around the top four, most of them drew. Samatex drew with Mediema. Then we had Adriana also drawing. Is that a good omen for Hearts?
No, I don't think so. I think that we need to be thinking about ourselves rather than thinking about the others. I'm really not happy because we have every opportunity to get to where we really want to set ourselves. We've been doing everything that is humanly very much possible, but still, we're still lacking very important moments where we should improve on making some credible decisions in order to turn things around.
Now, finally, you have 1 week before your next fixture. What must change?
Still, we keep working. Football, you need to still try to improve, and then we can grow.
And we saw your goalkeeper Benjamin Asari again pulling off some fantastic save. I mean, we've waxed lyrical about him, but what would you say about him again?
There's not much to say about him. He's the number one of Ghana and also our captain and number one. And so it is his responsibility to deal with these situations.
Thanks very much, Coach, and we wish you the very best. Coach Masood Didi Dramani, he is the head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. Now, I've been joined by the most valuable player in today's game, Ali Muhammad. Ali, last week, you won against Kotoko, and then draw. Ediana, I'm winning.
Oh, yeah, and I'm matching a boy. It make a lot of chances, but yet, man, I'm making. Attacking third no. They find difficult to able to ball into the net. Now share my Abrama 1-0.
Now we share a lot of set pieces and me will say I corner be a baby and now call back post. But look what ball be drew on my which mean connect. And then an enkoye.
Now share me like me timing no. I'm timing no was very poor. Osha more na most in the first half never see me so bad. I mean take the advantage no. And I'm timing here poor.
Of course, they say more about a next game, more 1 week to before your next game. At the end, going into that game.
Going to that game, I should coach be on board. Next week. They have following instructions. They call the next game.
Of course, Ali Muhammad, he is actually the most valuable player in today's game, and we thank him very much there. It has been an interesting one here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. There were other results that saw the likes of Samatex and Mediema or draw. Asante Kotoko back to winning ways because they got a win against Young Apostles, and Baby Any Gold Stars also went all the way to the Kwando Sports Stadium to defeat Heart of Lions. My name is Mutala Yakubu. I did this with Elikondo, Josiah Okokwe, and Nana Dakwachesi were in commentary position from the Adisa Production Limited crew here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. We say have a good evening and see you on March Day 24.
In the heart of Ghana.
2, 1.
BDD.